has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. All right, so into the coup de grace hour we go. Carver High, I know you're excited. The NBA draft is Wednesday night, and SportsGrid with continuing coverage Wednesday and Thursday night, the best coverage in the business, covering the NBA draft. The Kevin Walsh, of course, Coach James Young. We will set the bar very high for our coverage of the NBA draft, a 2-night event now for whatever reason. But I will say this. I know they always do this, but is there anything worse than we waited? I mean, literally the finals took a month, and then they jump right into the draft 2 days later. Like, could we have a week off of this before they start shoving it down our throats again? Like, honestly, like now we really need a week off after that. And instead, it's the day after tomorrow. Like, can you even believe it? You can't make this stuff up.
It is a really quick turnaround. I think they were so used to not having any Game 7s in the NBA Finals that they must have figured, they'll be done a week before that. We'll really have a week to go. Yeah. They win 7 this year, so they have 48 hours, basically, before the draft begins. So we'll do a lot of this the next 2 days. These are the betting favorites for the top 5 picks right now. So going into Wednesday night. Here. Number 1, of course, Cooper Flagg. He is the favorite, minus 10,000. Number 2 to San Antonio, Dylan Harper, minus 5,000. Now, here's where things get a little different. Everyone thought it would be Ace Bailey. The betting favorite is VJ Edgecombe now at minus 275 to go to Philly. The betting favorite for the 4th pick, which is Charlotte, is your boy Kneppel. And then the 5th pick, to Utah, Trey Johnson. So we told you that Ace Bailey been slipping a little bit. He's not the favorite to go at any of the first 5 picks in the draft. So
after all of his shenanigans, you're telling me that he's fallen out of the top 5. And like he, at some level, he's done this to himself.
That would be correct. I think maybe tomorrow we'll try to look at some other, see who everybody's kind of, what the mock drafts are saying for where he's going to go. But I think it's now likely he's going to be somewhere in the 5 to 10 range, Ace Bailey. He's going to go down kind of in that area of the draft. So, and which is when you get into Washington, New Orleans, Brooklyn, Toronto, teams like that. And now, of course, Phoenix, who will have that 10th pick, courtesy of the Houston Rockets. So we'll do a lot of draft here over the next couple of days. Pat Connaughton picks up his $9.4 million player option for next season. Congrats to him. The Knicks are eyeing an interview with now. Try not to get up right away and get excited about this. But after some impressive interviews with Mike Brown and Taylor Jenkins last week, the Knicks might sit down with former Hornet coach, current Pelican associate coach, the immortal James Borrego might get interview with the Knicks. That's your guy, James Borrego. Did such a great job with the Hornets when he had that.
Is it too late to put my name in the ring? Because anyone but him.
I don't think so.
No, you can't do it to me. These. And in fact, I don't want any of the people they've interviewed. None of them. None of them are even close to Tom Thibodeau. I even said this, and I know it's not happening, but is there any way they can call him back and say they're sorry and bring him back? Because this is so bad now. It has gotten to James Borrego. Honestly, at this point, I'll take coach's guy, the assistant from the
Johnny
next
Bryant.
I'll take Johnny Bryant. I wish it was Johnny Dawkins. I honestly, like, it is so bad. I wish it was Johnny from, it was Johnny from Cobra Kai. How about Johnny Lawrence?
Johnny Lawrence. Yeah, you get Johnny Lawrence to be the head coach.
I'd actually think he'd do a great job and be a lot of fun.
Mavs assistant Sean Sweeney has agreed to a deal to become the associate head coach of the Spurs under Mitch Johnson. Congratulations to him. And with the winter sports now in the barn for this year, here it is. Here's your countdown. 61 days until college football week 0. 73
You said that was
days
9?
until
That was 9 summer weekends?
Well, yeah, it's 9 summer weekends to the first full weekend of college football. That week 0 is like that Fugazi week before where they have like 4 or 5 games like that, a Dublin game and the fake week. So it's 8 summer weekends if you want to get to that. 106 days until NHL opening night, 120 till the NBA tips back off, and 133 until college basketball. When you get all your winter sports back, that's your countdown for all of it. So a lot of baseball.
Honestly, I just want to just slash off the bottom 3. I have no interest right now. Is there anything worse than me worrying about opening night in the NHL or in the NBA or even college basketball at this point?
Wow.
The one thing you said to me, the 9 weeks until legit college football is all I'm hanging my hat on. And I want to see the new F1 Brad Pitt movie this weekend.
No, absolutely. And just don't forget, you've got, we mentioned the NBA drafts on Wednesday night, the NHL drafts on Friday night, the first round of the NHL
Speaking of things I won't be watching on Friday night, is there anything worse than the Major League Baseball and the NHL drafts where they sit and talk about people that no one on the face of the earth has ever heard of?
I've been watching a lot of Matthew Schaefer tape here with the Islanders having the first pick on Friday night. Lots of Matthew Schaefer.
And
tape.
No one knows him either.
Nobody knows him at all. All right, there you go. All right, we got a lot of baseball. Let's start it because we've got games tonight.
It's got to bum me out that you're drafting a guy that no one's ever heard of. So, like, we had all heard of Bedard, celebrating, and then this guy, no one's ever heard of him. It just can't be good.
It is unfortunate. You know, you end up winning the draft lottery, which, well, look, the Islanders were supposed to pick like 10th, and they ended up getting all the way up to the first pick. But it's not a year where there's Bedard, McDavid, even Tavares. Right. Remember the year the Islanders took Tavares? He was, there's just not that.
There's none of that.
Top name. Austin Matthews, even Jack Hughes when the Devils got him a few years ago. Everybody's
it's just awful for you.
All of the scouts say that this Schaefer is he's like Cale Makar, one of these guys, really good puck moving defenseman. He's 17 years old. He's played he barely played at any high level.
They can't put him in the NHL at 17.
No, he's not going to play
honestly,
next year.
He's got to play in the minors.
He's got to do another year at the O.
He's not even shaving. There's nothing happening here. It's very unappealing to me. I'll never forget. I went to it one year.
I went to a few. Yeah.
It was awful. I would have had more. Trust me when I tell you, when they had it at Sphere, it was really cool and everything. The Dead show was 1,000 times better than the NHL draft. 1,000 times better. I went to see the Dead. 1,000 times better. The NHL draft. I don't care where they have it. They could have it in heaven or hell. It's boring. It's boring. That's it.
Yeah, and now they've gone even to the NFL route where they're just, how they used to have all the tables out there and all the GMs were at the tables? That's not even happening anymore. They're all at their home bases like the NFL. Yeah. It's just for the fans to show up, I guess. And like you say, who are these guys? To all root around, who are these guys that's getting
No
drafted?
one wants to go to that. Are you kidding me? I'd rather be in a dentist chair.
Looking for an edge in betting basketball? Injuries can make or break a game. Get insider knowledge from Dr. David Chow and the team of experts with Sick Picks at Sports Injury Central. We reveal hidden health-based advantages the sports books miss. Our doctors provide insights, and our algorithm tells you who to bet on. Spreads, props, totals, in-game bets, Sick Picks covers it all. Go to sickscore.com and sign up for Sick Picks. and use the promo code SportsGrid for a free week today.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent the message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, who had such a good training camp last year, and it looked like he was pretty good, I believe, in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken, ended up going down for the full year. The Vikings are still obviously committed to him.
They knew that McCarthy was going to be available at some point in June. And McCarthy actually went on record last week and confirmed 2 weeks ago he was cleared medically. He did work last week. And he's going to be their starter.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High, let's talk baseball because we're going to be talking a lot of baseball as we move into the infamous dog days of summer.
We have officially moved into those. We got as much as we could out of the NBA and NHL through late June this year, and now it is time.
For us.
They did. They did do a good job for us. They took us right up to the drafts and to free agency, and then baseball will carry us to the start of football. Baseball and the Open Championship will get us there. Here we go from the weekend. Yankees beat Baltimore yesterday 4-2. Big day for Jazz Chisholm. Really, since Jazz has come back from the IL, he's been excellent. Yankees go-ahead hit in the 8th from Jazz on WFAN in New York, the Soul Man.
Here's the 3-0, the pitch. Swung on and driven deep to the gap in right center field. That ball has one hop off the fence. It hits right above the 385 sign. Coming around his race. They're waving Paulie home. Here's the throw to the plate. And Davey's in there.
Yeah, did you see that? And then you see this guy, this veteran going for it. Are you kidding me? They needed that. They haven't been playing well.
They have not. And what he referenced there with Paulie was Goldschmidt, who actually came in and pinch ran in that spot. Pinch ran.
Of all
unbelievable.
People.
Of all people. He had the pinch run. Here's Boone. He absolutely loves having Goldschmidt on the team.
You know what? A lot of it's just, it was bang, bang play. It was a hard slide. So, like, your juices are going on, like, okay, I don't want to be hurt. It's a big run, obviously. And it just embodies, like, who Goldie is. Like, that's a guy in his late 30s that's probably going to the Hall of Fame, that isn't playing, probably going to the All-Star game this year, isn't playing a second day in a row, and the guy's ready to go in and pinch run and do that. Like, man, that's freaking humility. And that is who he is, and I'm so appreciative of that, and it's a huge play.
Honestly, when is the last time you saw that guy in a Yankee jersey?
I was just going to say that. He never wears the uniform. He always has the tops on with the he never wears the actual uniform top.
Never
once. How about that? That was worth it alone.
I haven't seen him in that since he played.
No, that's so weird. Jazz, since coming back on June 3rd, 350, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 11 RBIs, 9 runs, 4 steals, a 987 OPS. Jazz back in the mix. did you have a problem with him taking Schmidt out Saturday? 7 innings, no hitter. He had well over 100 pitches thrown. You know, I don't really care. Like that guy gets hurt all the time. They need to save his arm.
Yeah, and first of all, he's never done anything, and now all of a sudden he's pitching well, and then he's well over a hundo, and I'm gonna let him go for a no hitter. It's not in the books, so I think they did the right thing yanking him. To be honest with you, I mean, you said it best. He gets injured, so why would you make him go that hard that long?
I agree. They did have to put Ryan Yarbrough, though, on the IL. Low-grade oblique strain. Alan Winans, who will be called up to start against the Reds tonight in Cincinnati. He does have an under 1 ERA in 50 innings at Scranton. He has pitched in the majors before for Atlanta. He'll be making his Yankee debut this evening. Aaron Boone thinks Louis Hill will be like a trade deadline addition. There you go. So now when they don't trade for anybody, that'll be cash on deadline day. Well, you know, we got Louis Hill back, so, you know, that's like making a deal. I hate when they do that. I hate when they use that as an excuse. If they get an injured player back, that's like a trade deadline move. The Orioles also had bad news. Adley Rutschman on the IL, another oblique strain. Lots of oblique strains going around, Scotty. Oblique strains and Achilles has been all the injuries this year.
I'm telling
Baseball, it's
you,
obliques, NBA's Achilles.
Listen, I know firsthand the oblique. That one's a crippler. I mean, when that thing rolls up on you, I mean to tell you, you are done. I mean, it hurts so bad. I had one. I just had one, and they come around like weather systems. Once you start pulling that oblique, it happens all the time. Like it'll never be the same. It comes back to haunt you like an ex-wife or something. Honestly, it is the worst. When that thing rolls up on you, literally, you are bent over in pain. You can't even breathe. I'm telling you, that thing is a pain in the neck.
Tigers avoided the sweep in Tampa. They beat the Rays 9-3. The Pirates avoided the sweep against the Rangers. They had an 8-3 win. That Dennis Santana got 4 games for swinging at fans in Detroit last week.
They had it coming.
He had it coming. Pirates starters Skeens, Heaney, and Keller. They've thrown 278 in the third innings this year. They have a 3.20 ERA combined, but they also have a combined 8-22 record. I didn't realize Helen Keller's 1-10 this year. That's his record. I mean, that's
he's literally the Black Cloud Diner. I mean, you talk about bad luck. This guy never wins ever. And then Skeens. I couldn't believe it. What did he pitch the other day in Detroit? And they put up 5 runs for him. He still didn't get the win. Still didn't get the win. They won in extra innings, 8-4. They were up 5. What was it? 5. They won 8-4. They blew that lead, dude. They never win when he pitches.
Yep, they gave him a 4-0 lead right out of the gate. And the bullpen yacked it up. White Sox ended up taking 2 out of 3 in Toronto this weekend. They had a 4-3 win. How about the offense with the Mariners and the Cubs at Wrigley? It was hot. The wind was blowing out all weekend. And, man, did Cal Raleigh take advantage. 4 homers over the weekend at Wrigley. He now has 31 on the season. Yesterday's work on Root Sports.
He goes after the first pitch. A high riser, center field. Cal Raleigh bombs away again. Straight away center field. It's his 4th home run in 3 games on the north side. He just continues to charge through the record books. Number 31 this year for Cal Raleigh.
Wow.
Isn't it like true? Wasn't there like, I think there was 22 home runs hit in that series. Is that true?
Yeah, a lot of homers. Yeah, a lot of homers.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Dialing it back to his old days with St. Louis and Arizona. Buy or sell, Goldie will finish top 7 in fantasy first baseman.
No, I'm going to say no. I think he'll fall off. Older player here, he'll be top 10, but not top 7 here. Top 10, I would say I'd buy it. Top 7, I'm going to say no here. I think he'll put up decent numbers here. Not as good as he was. I don't think he's going to bat 340, 350 all year long.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
I'm with you in that you're going to have to take calculated risks. And that's what Leon Rose has been about since he's been here. And he's been measured. He hasn't been gung-ho in terms of mortgaging this franchise's future for immediate gains. They have had a prudent approach, and you're going to have to roll the dice in certain respects to get to that top level. And you're right, Donnie, when you look at next season, all things considered, you hope that they're healthy, and if they roll over, say, 85 to 90% of this roster, this is a top 3 team in the East. With Boston coming down, Milwaukee is going to come down, and so you have to figure it's going to be Indiana, the Knicks, the Cleveland Cavaliers in some sort of order in the preseason rankings. And so where they go from here, Jason Kidd is obviously the hot name right now. Both sides are interested from what we've heard in terms of Kidd and the New York Knicks. Is he that championship caliber coach to take the Knicks there?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Every 5 days, it's really exciting when Skeens pitches, and it's terrible watching him pitch because every time he pitches, they don't score.
Having him hit the lineup probably would actually help when he pitches. There's no way to do it because you can't, but it's beyond frustrating. And the numbers will tell you, the books have adjusted.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so, the home runs flying out of Wrigley all weekend. I mean, that was insanity. 22 of them or something like that. I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah, huge weekend, and you just had one of these events, and you know how much I follow this stuff with the home runs and trying to bet them. I mean, the numbers were unbettable. I mean, the guys were like plus 200. Raleigh was like plus 110 yesterday to hit a home run, which is just stupid. But the one number I thought was cool on Raleigh, most homers by a switch hitter in Major League history through 75 games. And the 3 before him now, 3 under him were all Mickey Mantle. Mantle had like the top 3 seasons of switch hitting home runs by the All-Star break. And Raleigh has shattered past all of those numbers.
People are already saying, like, will he hit more home runs than Judge? And I saw today, some people said because he's a catcher, no, because eventually the catching takes its toll on the body in this 162 games. So do you buy that, or is he young enough to keep going?
Well, there's two. I don't buy that because I think they do a very good job of they give him a lot of days off, but he still hits. They DH him a lot. So he gets in there and just goes up and swings the bat. And it's very rare he gets a full day off, maybe once every 2 weeks because they DH him so much that I think it manages the amount of catching that he does back there. So I think that's going to help him. But we saw this with Judge a couple of years ago when he did it. I think it just mentally takes a toll on you no matter what you do out there, right? When you start getting to those, you get to September – and it's such a long grind, and you're at 57, 58. Like, you heard Judge. I mean, what did it take Judge? 2 weeks to finally get that last one because he was pressing so hard, and he wanted to get it done with. So I think that's what would hit somebody like Raleigh if he got into that air. But, man, what a start and what a first half he has had. PCA and Seiya Suzuki are the Cubs, the first Cub teammates to have 20-plus homers before the All-Star break since Rizzo and Bryant in 2016. How about that for those guys? Marlins beat the Braves 5-3. The bad news, the Braves season gets worse. Chris Sale goes on the IL with a fractured rib cage that he hurt in the Mets start that he had last week. A fractured rib cage for Chris Sale.
I mean, that just sounds painful. I've broken ribs and cartilage. It's the worst. It is the worst. You can't do anything.
No. Brewers beat the Twins 9-8. How about Yelich on Friday night? He had 8 RBIs in that game, a franchise record. Great weekend for Yelich and the Brewers. And how about this Mizorowski? This Jacob Mizorowski's now started 2-0, 1.64 ERA, had 11 Ks in his first 2 starts. And get the popcorn ready for Wednesday.
Yeah.
Skeens versus Mizorowski in Milwaukee, Scotty. Let's go. That's a great ticket. They should get a big full house in Milwaukee for that.
Are they going to have that on national television or like on MLB Network or something Wednesday?
Well, I will tell you now that on Wednesday they are playing at 2:10 in the afternoon, and I already see it says MLB Network here. So they are putting that game.
That's as good as it
MLB
gets.
Network on Wednesday.
We'll be
afternoon.
on for that, for at least half of it.
Right. Yeah, for most of it, right? We'll be on just less than an hour after it starts. So we'll get a lot of time in with Skeens and Mizorowski. Reds beat the Cards 4-1. This Andrew Abbott's having a hell of a year. Now has a 1.79 ERA. The best news is now the Yankees miss him because he pitched yesterday. So the Yankees won't see him in Cincinnati over the next couple of days, which I like to see. Rockies beat the Diamondbacks. He did it again, Scotty. He's been on fire.
Cognac.
Forget the cognac. Give me the Moniac with a go-ahead 2-run homer. Second deck shot at Coors yesterday afternoon. Big shot for him. Phillies beat the Mets 7-1. Schwarber had a homer. Edmundo Sosa had a 2-run shot. The Phillies now lead the NL East by a game over the Mets. Soto had 2 homers on Saturday night. 343, 8 homers, 4 doubles, and a 1243 OPS since May the 30th. I'd say Soto's gotten going, Scotty, after that weekend.
Yeah, honestly, over the last 20 and change days, he's playing like he did with the Yankees with that bat.
Yep. Giants beat the Red Sox 9-5 yesterday. Devers did homer against them. It was on Saturday afternoon. He hit a little Oppo Taco shot into the left field seats. So we can all stop talking about that now, and Rafael Devers can get back to a normal life, playing baseball in San Francisco.
That's all he did against them this weekend.
He did nothing else.
He barely got it out of the park. It was in the first row and left. So he did nothing really besides that against Boston.
Here we go at Oakmont. Let's start with the course. What do we know about this course? How long is the rough, and does course history come into effect for you this week?
The U.S. Open has always been billed as the most difficult test of golf there is on the planet. And I tell you what, it's often labeled as the most difficult golf course in the world is Oakmont.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
We don't want you playing here. Can you move positions? Do something else. He starts the season like 0 for 150, it felt like, and finally finds himself in a groove at the plate, hitting 272. 15 home runs on the season? Now he's shipped to San Francisco.
What is management going to do? Nobody who's paying you $313.5 million is going to hear anything from you. They'll figure out a way to get rid of you, and that's exactly what they did.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Every 5 days, it's really exciting when Skeens pitches, and it's terrible watching him pitch because every time he pitches, they don't score.
Having him hit the lineup probably would actually help when he pitches. There's no way to do it because you can't, but it's beyond frustrating. And the numbers will tell you, the books have adjusted.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
Dialing it back to his old days with St. Louis and Arizona. Buy or sell, Goldie will finish top 7 in fantasy first baseman.
No, I'm going to say no. I think he'll fall off. Older player here, he'll be top 10, but not top 7 here. Top 10, I would say I'd buy it. Top 7, I'm going to say no here. I think he'll put up decent numbers here. Not as good as he was. I don't think he's going to bat 340, 350 all year long.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Around the stretch they come here on a Misery Monday, Carver High. We're still talking baseball.
Yeah, we got to get to tonight's games. Let me quickly go through everything else that I've got. Astros beat the Angels 8-7. The Astros have won 19 of their last 27 games. They have been on fire. Bad news for the Angels. Manager Ron Washington will be away from the team with some health issues. Bench coach Ray Montgomery will be the interim manager. Who? Boy, Ray getting involved with the Angels now. The Padres beat the Royals 3-2. Forget how they won. Jose Iglesias had the walk-off hit. Did you see our boy Jack Caglianone with the catch out right field, robbing the homer? That was a hell of a catch by Jack.
That was.
Even though they lost. Did you see the Louis Arise identical stats to Tony Gwynn through their first 2,144 at-bats? Same hits, average, runs, every home run, everything was identical through that. And we obviously know what Tony Gwynn is. He's a Hall of Famer. And Louis Arise.
Listen, I have to say it's staggering the similarities, down to almost to the number. But I still never once ever have thought of Louis Arise in any kind of way, shape, or form in the same league as Tony Gwynn. I've never once thought that. In fact, no one's ever cared about Louis Arise. In fact, teams he's moved around like a United Van Lines. If he's so great, Tony Gwynn is on another planet compared to Louis Arise. I don't care what the numbers say. I don't compare those two at all, even though everyone's trying to. There's no way I compare him to Tony Gwynn. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, 696 hits to 699 hits, 24 homers to 24 homers, 802 OPS, 804 OPS, 325 average, 326 average. Pretty wild when you think about it for Louis Arise. The Dodgers beat the Nats 13-7. Ohtani did pitch yesterday, 1 inning, struck out 2. He also hit his 26th homer. But really, Scotty, it was Max Muncy. He had a grand slam and a 3-run homer in that game. We got it up. Why not? Sportsnet LA, the grand slam for Muncy.
1 out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ferrer deals. And Muncy swings. Fly ball left to center. On the warning track at the wall. It's grand! Max Muncy's 200th home run as a Dodger gives them the lead.
Second one's only $1.
Second one's only $1. Clayton Kershaw went to 3-0 on Friday night. He's just 8 strikeouts away from 3,000. Of course, a bunch of guys got suspended from that Padre-Dodger nonsense on Friday, too. Dave Roberts, Mike Schilt, and Padres closer Robert Suarez all were suspended. Ronald Acuna Jr. says he'll do the home run derby if he's invited. Of course, the game is in Atlanta.
Why wouldn't you have him?
Not? Why wouldn't you invite him? Now, he probably won't he's not going to make the All-Star game because he missed the first 2 months of the season. But
so what?
I would have him. Think about, and we've talked about this. He's got the outgoing personality. He's, everybody, the fans love. Have him out there just for the home run derby on Monday night, and give everybody some fun out there.
They can't possibly be that stupid to not do it.
Especially when you consider that 90% of the guys that they ask to do it don't want to do it anyway. So why? It's you might as well have them do it. No one else wants to.
Listen, if they're going to keep having this thing, such a broke-ass thing, then stop having it. If nobody ever wants to do it, and the ones that they have doing it are so boring, and no one cares about any of them, then it's, what I always say, don't change anything until it kills itself. I think it's killing itself.
Right. Well, look, the judges and those guys, they don't want to do it anymore. Ohtani don't want to do it anymore. Now, I'll tell you.
So don't do it anymore.
Cal Raleigh better do it this year. With the year that he's having, he should do the home run derby.
They're going to tell me he's tired.
They might do that. Cincinnati Reds top prospect Chase Burns will make his major league debut against the Yankees tomorrow. So the Yankees will see Burns.
Flamethrower. That's what they call him. A
flamethrower.
Is every kid that's now coming up throwing 100+?
Gas. They all get hurt. They all get hurt eventually.
They all get hurt
as well. And I believe he was taken in last year's draft. The 24 draft is when they took this kid. So he's already coming and making a splash. The A's have officially broke ground on their new stadium in Vegas. So there you go.
Oh, they finally cleared up all the asbestos and started digging a hole.
They have finally gotten everything in order there on the corner by the MGM and the Excalibur over there in Tropicana Ave to go ahead and get that cooking. All right, let's get to tonight. Let's go. Lots of games. We'll start in Baltimore. Rangers and the Orioles get together. Patrick Corbin and Trevor Rogers, -135 for the Orioles, +115 for Texas, and a 9.5.
Well, I'm not betting on Rogers because he hasn't pitched. I mean, he's got no work at all. I'm taking Texas here tonight at plus money, +110. I don't care, Corbin. At least he's got all kinds of innings and work. I'm going with the guy that's been pitching regularly. I'll take Texas.
The Mets, of course, did not have a good series in Atlanta last week. They got swept by the Braves. Now they get together again at Citi Field for a 4-game series starting tonight. Spencer Schwellenbach and Blackburn the Pirate going for the Mets. -145 for Atlanta. +$120. Mets dogs at home and an 8.5.
Yeah, I actually think it's a sucker play. I think the Braves are going to beat them. I think Schwellenbach has had a really good stretch against the Mets. When he pitches against the Mets, he has some of his best stuff. And Blackburn has not had success against the Braves. And he's only pitched a couple games here, Blackburn. What's he pitched, 2 or 3 games? I think the Braves, the Mets have lost 8 of 9. They look good on Saturday. That was it. They've had one good game in 2 weeks. They're not scoring runs. They had one where they exploded. That was it.
That was it. They've had a really bad stretch, and against the other teams in the NL East too, Braves and Phillies, teams that they're just dropping games left and right. The Yankees will open a series in Cincinnati. We told you before, Alan Winans will get called up from AAA Scranton to pitch for the Yankees. Nick Lodolo goes for the Reds. -125 for New York, +105 for Cincy, and a big fat 10.5 tonight.
Yeah, look, I took the Reds at +$1.05. I took Lodolo. He strikes guys out. There's no way I'm betting on this guy, Winans, in his first start for the Yankees. On the road at Great American. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I took the Reds, and I did bet it.
Arizona is in Chicago against the White Sox. Eduardo Rodriguez and Shane Smith this evening. -145 for the Snakes, +120 for the White Sox, and a 9.5.
So the White Sox won the series in Toronto, and they come home now, and I still say they lose to the Snakes.
They probably will still lose to the Snakes, that's for sure. By the way, still no Corbin Carroll for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's missed the last couple of days. He was getting an MRI today on his hand. He's not in the lineup tonight. We'll see if Arizona has any updates there later. Pittsburgh and Milwaukee will open that series up in Brewtown. Tonight, you will have Braxton Ashcraft against Chad Patrick. -180 for Milwaukee, +150 for the Buccos, and an 8.5.
Braxton Ashcraft has pitched for 5 minutes, okay? So there's no way I'm taking him tonight in Milwaukee against that team that just swept the Twins at Target, and I bet on them Saturday and Sunday. They were up 9-3 on Sunday, and they won 9-8. I still cashed it at +120. I'm going run line here at +$1.17 with the Brewers.
We will come back. I've got 4 more games for tonight in baseball and some long balls for us as we head into the weekend. Got to have some taters when we come back. Everyone loves taters.
Here we go at Oakmont. Let's start with the course. What do we know about this course? How long is the rough, and does course history come into effect for you this week?
The U.S. Open has always been billed as the most difficult test of golf there is on the planet. And I tell you what, it's often labeled as the most difficult golf course in the world is Oakmont.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
We don't want you playing here. Can you move positions? Do something else. He starts the season like 0 for 150, it felt like, and finally finds himself in a groove at the plate, hitting 272. 15 home runs on the season? Now he's shipped to San Francisco.
What is management going to do? Nobody who's paying you $313.5 million is going to hear anything from you. They'll figure out a way to get rid of you, and that's exactly what they did.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Every 5 days, it's really exciting when Skeens pitches, and it's terrible watching him pitch because every time he pitches, they don't score.
Having him hit the lineup probably would actually help when he pitches. There's no way to do it because you can't, but yeah, it's beyond frustrating. And the numbers will tell you, the books have adjusted.
Ferrall coast to coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Dialing it back to his old days with St. Louis and Arizona. Buy or sell, Goldie will finish top 7 in fantasy first baseman.
No, I'm going to say no. I think he'll fall off. Older player here, he'll be top 10, but not top 7 here. Top 10, I would say I buy it. Top 7, I'm going to say no here. I think he'll put up decent numbers here. Not as good as he was. I don't think he's going to bat 340, 350 all year long.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Let's look at the rest of these games tonight, Carver High, around the show.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Seattle, after that big weekend at Wrigley Field, will now be in Minnesota against the Twins. Brian Wu and Bailey Ober tonight. Minus 135 for the Mariners, plus 115 for the Twins, and an 8.5.
Yeah, at some point, are the Twins going to win a game at home? I mean, are they going to ever win? Like, I'm gonna take a stab at them tonight with Seattle. That crazy weekend at Wrigley. I think my guess is like they don't just keep rolling. Like it had to take something out of them. You know what I mean? Like that was a crazy weekend of home runs and wild games, exhausting at some level, and then you got to fly there to play at Target, which is kind of like you're at Wrigley, it's packed, it's rocking, and then you go to this place, it's like, oh God, what could be worse? This is a legit road trip from hell, and they're playing the Twins. I'm gonna take a stab with the Twins tonight at plus $113 with Obi-Wan Kenobi. They got to win a game at home at some point. They had to. They were, like I said, they were down 9-3 yesterday, and they came all the way back, and they lost that game, and they got swept by the Brewers. But they were, scoring runs here late. I think tonight they finally win a game.
First time this year the Cubs and the Cardinals are getting together. It'll be in St. Louis. Ben Brown and Matthew Liberatore tonight. Cubs minus 115.
I like Liberatore and the Cards tonight. I bet it, and I got it at minus 110. It's at minus 106 now, so it went down.
It certainly did. The Red Sox continue a very long West Coast trip that now takes them to Anaheim. Walker Buehler and the great Jack Kokanowitz. Minus 120 for Boston, even money for Anaheim, and an 8.5.
I bet this one. I took the Red Sox this morning. It was minus $1.23. It's minus $1.20 now. I think Bueller beats Kokanowitz tonight in the Big A.
And finally, the Nationals are in San Diego. Of course, as you were talking about earlier, the Padres at home at Petco with Stephen Kolek. Mitchell, Parker, Lewis can't lose going for the Nats. Tonight, minus 180 for San Diego, plus $1.50 for Washington, and an 8.5.
This will be the first time I bet against Mitchell, Parker, Lewis can't lose, because all he does is lose. He's 4-8 now. He's awful. He's going to get lit up. The balls are going to be flying out of Petco tonight. I'm on Kolek and the Friars here. Not only that, I'll run line it at plus 120.
There you go. That is your evening in baseball. But, of course, we got to hit some fly balls first, some long balls here. I'm going to start in Milwaukee. I'm going after this Ashcraft tonight for the Pirates because Christian Yelich has been hot. So let's go. Plus 420 for Yelich tonight in Brewtown. Next, Ozuna against Blackburn the Pirate. Plus 450 for him. Nice hot night out at Citi Field. Julio Rodriguez did not get in on the home run party at Wrigley, but he had some hard hit balls, and I think it's just about there. Ober gives up a lot of homers for the Twins. Plus 475 for J-Rod tonight at Target. Josh Naylor in Chicago for the Diamondbacks this evening. Plus 500 for him. And Wyatt Langford against that Rogers for Baltimore. I think the price is wrong here. Way too much for plus 500. I'll take my shot with Langford with a little deep discount there. So Yelich, Ozuna, Rodriguez, Naylor, and Langford, long balls on a Monday night for us.
Yeah, and I actually think there's going to be some hit out of Petco as well. I'd be into Manny, Tatis. I'd even be into the Crone zone.
I'll tell you, it seems like the Wood Doctor has been on absolute fire for the Nationals too. So, the Wood Doctor will probably get involved.
He'll probably hit one too
for the Nats. And I know I got no homers there from the Yankee game. Yankees-Reds tonight in Cincinnati has the potential for a lot of long balls. But look, you might need to get some parlay action. The prices are so cratered. Judge is 150, Giancarlo's 190, Ellie's 230. Like, the numbers are really low, a lot lower than I usually give here. But there should be a lot of long balls in Cincinnati tonight.
Fair enough. I need, and I hate to say it because I like the Yankees, but I bet the Reds.
I know, but I could see them hitting a few deep shots tonight. All right, there you go with the baseball. All right, we got a lot of other little things to do. We mentioned that Keegan Bradley won the Travelers Championship. Meltdown from Tommy Fleetwood in the final couple holes opened the door for Bradley. Now, there's been a lot of talk lately, Scotty, about these golfers not talking to the media, mostly from Rory, etc., especially after bad rounds. Give Tommy Fleetwood, I guess, a little bit of credit. He wasn't walking away from the podium after blowing it again. He still hasn't won on the PGA Tour. He took it like a man.
I'm upset now. I'm gutted. I'm angry. When it calms down, look at the things that I did well. Look at the things that I can learn from. I said yesterday, I haven't been in this position all year, so it's been a while. I felt like I did a lot of good things, but there was things that I, definitely can do better, and I have to do better. So, the most stupid thing to do and the worst thing to do would be make a week like this, make sure that I can put myself in this position as soon as possible again, and try and correct what I did this time. But like I say, right now I would love to, just go and sulk somewhere, and maybe I will do. But there's just no point making it a negative for the future, really, and take the positives and move on.
I'll give him that. Right. I like that, but you know what? I'm not betting on him ever.
The song remains the same, unfortunately, for Tommy. You
and
can't
I watched
play
that
him
this weekend too. Becoming Led Zeppelin, that was awesome.
Oh, how about that? Of course, Keegan Bradley won. We're getting close to the Ryder Cup. Now, look, I don't know what he said. He would only put himself on the team if he was there on points. Hard to argue Keegan Bradley isn't one of the 12 best American golfers in the world.
Especially on the East Coast courses.
And it being at Bethpage.
And he went to St. John's. Let's go. Put him on a team.
They haven't had a playing captain since Arnold in 62 or 63, whatever it was. I think Bradley's got to be on the team, Scotty.
I
think he's got to play.
here we go at Oakmont. Let's start with the course. What do we know about this course? How long is the rough, and does course history come into effect for you this week?
The U.S. Open has always been billed as the most difficult test of golf there is on the planet. And I tell you what, it's often labeled as the most difficult golf course in the world is Oakmont.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
We don't want you playing here. Can you move positions? Do something else. He starts the season like 0 for 150, it felt like, and finally finds himself in a groove at the plate, hitting 272. 15 home runs on the season? Now he's shipped to San Francisco.
What is management going to do? Nobody who's paying you $313.5 million is going to hear anything from you. They'll figure out a way to get rid of you, and that's exactly what they did.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Every 5 days, it's really exciting when Skeens pitches, and it's terrible watching him pitch because every time he pitches, they don't score.
Having him hit the lineup probably would actually help when he pitches. There's no way to do it because you can't, but yeah, it's beyond frustrating. And the numbers will tell you, the books have adjusted.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
Dialing it back to his old days with St. Louis and Arizona. Buy or sell, Goldie will finish top 7 in fantasy first baseman.
No, I'm going to say no. I think he'll fall off. Older player here, he'll be top 10, but not top 7 here. Top 10, I would say I'd buy it. Top 7, I'm going to say no here. I think he'll put up decent numbers here. Not as good as he was. I don't think he's going to bat 340, 350 all year long.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Everybody loves leftovers.
Everybody does, and we got a lot to do. Let's go. Of course, the Florida Panthers had their victory parade yesterday down in South Florida, and let's just say they have not stopped partying. Sam Bennett firing up the crowd yesterday.
A lot of people they don't like the way we play. They don't like, they call us dirty. They call us nasty. They call us bullies. So no, I would like to take this time to apologize to absolutely no one. We're the double champs. We do what the we want. Let's go.
Now
Your
that
guy
is how you celebrate winning a Stanley Cup. That's how you do it. Stanley Cup final ratings dropped. Lower than the Four Nations was the Stanley Cup final. Down from last year. That's a shame because it was a hell of a series. The Ducks traded Trevor Zegras to Philadelphia for Ryan Poling's second-round pick and a fourth-rounder.
Now he can lose there.
Now he can lose there. Seattle trains Andre Burakovsky to Chicago for the great Joe Velno.
Now he can lose there.
LSU sweeps Coastal Carolina to win the College World Series. Cade Anderson threw a complete game shutout in game number 1, and Coastal coach Kevin Schnall didn't make it very far in game number 2. We talked about it earlier. Here he is talking about the umps.
There's 25,000 people there, and I vaguely hear a warning issued. As the head coach, I was an assistant for 24 years, and as an assistant, you're almost treated like a second level citizen, and you can't say a word. Now, as a head coach, I think it is your right to get an explanation of why we got warned. And I'm 48 years old. I shouldn't get shooed by another grown man, right? So when I come out to ask what the warning is, a grown man shooed me. So at that point, I can now hear him say, it was a warning issued for arguing balls and strikes. And at that point, I said, because you missed 3. At that point, ejected.
But that's nothing compared to him talking about the hump that fell down on his ass backwards by his own accord. He did it himself. He tripped himself, the fat ass. So I thought the manager was right about everything. Those humps were the absolute worst.
U.S. Soccer beats Haiti 2-1. They won their group at the Gold Cup. They'll now face Costa Rica on Sunday in the knockout round. Travis Hunter officially signed his 4-year rookie deal, $46 million. He got his entire signing bonus up front. That's rare because usually only first overall pick quarterbacks get that. So congrats to Travis Hunter. John Bones Jones announces his retirement from the UFC. Dana White didn't waste any time. You want to retire? You're out. Tom Aspinall is now the new UFC heavyweight champ of the world. Max Kellerman back in boxing. He's part of the broadcasting crew for the Canelo Crawford broadcast on September the 13th. Good job by Max. Carlos Alcaraz won the Queen's Club title, second time in 3 years. His 21st title, fifth this year, has won on all surfaces. He's 29-3 on grass with Wimbledon around the corner. Look out for Alcaraz.
Who do you think will win?
Woody Johnson, Jets owner, buys a minority stake of Crystal Palace in the EPL for $254 million. Justin Verlander and Kate Upton welcome their second child. Congratulations. Tom Brady wins the inaugural Fanatics games, whatever that is. It was a $1 million prize, and he actually used it, Scotty, and he gave it to the kid who finished second and bought some card off of him or something for $1 million. I don't know how it all worked out. Dwayne Lucas, great Hall of Fame horse trainer, hospitalized in Louisville, won't be returning to training anytime soon. And prosecutors are seeking a 5-year prison term for Wander Franco. Of course, down there with all of his legal problems that he's having.
Yeah, with little girls. How's that sound?
Yes, legal problems.
Does this mean that with Kate Upton having her second kid that I'm off the table? Like there's just that chance I had is now blown. Like I don't have a shot at that.
I'd say it's gone down significantly.
Good. 3 dead, 70 injured in an Algerian soccer stadium fail. I guess the stadium collapsed and all these people got hurt. It's awful. Front Office Sports today, then GTD, then In-Game Live, then Sports Rage tonight on SportsGrid TV. Carver and Lisi at 8 on SportsGrid Radio. Get my app, search Ferrall. It's badass. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 on Coast to Coast.
25th at 7:30 p.m. Ditch the guesswork. Ben Stevens, Kevin Walsh, James Young, and Tom Vecchio have your NBA draft betting coverage pick by pick, bet by bet, all night long. We got all the insights and expert analysis because betting blind isn't a strategy. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on June 25th, only on SportsGrid.
The Minnesota Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, who had such a good training camp last year, and it looked like he was pretty good, I believe, in the preseason, if I'm not mistaken, ended up going down for the full year. The Vikings are still obviously committed to him.
They knew that McCarthy was going to be available at some point in June. And McCarthy actually went on record last week and confirmed 2 weeks ago he was cleared medically. He did work last week. And he's going to be their starter.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I'm with you in that you're going to have to take calculated risks. And that's what Leon Rose has been about since he's been here. And he's been measured. He hasn't been gung-ho in terms of mortgaging this franchise's future for immediate gains. They have had a prudent approach, and you're going to have to roll the dice in certain respects to get to that top level. And you're right, Donnie, when you look at next season, all things considered, you hope that they're healthy, and if they roll over, say, 85 to 90% of this roster, this is a top 3 team in the East. With Boston coming down, you know Milwaukee's going to come down, and so you have to figure it's going to be Indiana, the Knicks, the Cleveland Cavaliers in some sort of order in the preseason rankings. And so where they go from here, Jason Kidd is obviously the hot name right now. Things both sides are interested from what we've heard in terms of Kidd and the New York Knicks. Is he that championship caliber coach to take the Knicks there?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
OKC was able to win the NBA Finals and set themselves up for years to come. Plus, why are there so many NBA stars out